Mrityorma Amrutangamaya is an often repeated phrase in the ancient texts. It means that a guru teaches you how to move from the path of death to that of immortality. You already know the way to death, but you do not know about the path to immortality. Only one person can make you realize this path, and he is the Guru. Guru is one who has achieved the realization of Brahma and who has covered the path to immortality. Even death cannot harm a person who has fused himself in the Guru, because the Guru has achieved divine enlightenment. He is not an ordinary human, he is a celestial form. He is Brahma, he is Vishnu, he is Shiva. In fact, he is Purna Brahma. And the process of becoming a part of the Purna Brahma is the greatest accomplishment of life. Through this process, you can become a part of this divinity and can thus rise your life to empyrean spiritual heights. In the life of every human being comes such an opportunity, but most remain in a state of dilemma whether this person can be a guru or not. Most people are deceived by the outer appearance and they accept frauds wearing saffron robes and having long hair as their preceptors. But such frauds are not sadhus or sannyasis. What can they give you? They themselves are beggars who go about asking for some money, clothes and food. Such people do not have anything to give, and only those who have something to give can rise one's life to higher planes. But the Himalayas never walk to a mountaineer. They remain still, standing majestically at one place with several summits reaching out and touching the sky above. They adorn the earth with their beautiful snow-laden peaks, and even the gods feel delighted to wander about in their valleys. Hence, to enjoy their resplendent charms, a person himself has to travel and reach them. Only then can he enjoy the divine bliss and peace amidst their beautiful sceneries. On reaching the Himalayas, one feels as if the heart and the soul have become purified. Similar is the feeling one has on meeting a guru. But to meet him, a person himself has to walk and reach him. And when he reaches the Guru and holds his feet, he realizes the path which leads to the totality of life. Thus, his goal becomes clear to him, and with the help of the Guru, he starts progressing towards it. Moving on this path, he always remembers his real goal, even when leading a normal, mundane life. He knows that this path does not lead to death. He knows that the final destination of this path is not a funeral ground. He knows that at the end of the path is a new day, and reaching it, he shall be filled with divine spiritual enlightenment. He knows that there he shall fuse his soul with the Brahma and shall attain totality in life. At this moment, your life is a void without any goal. You are like an empty earthen vessel. You do not even know what the thought process of your life should be. Only a guru can explain to you which path you have to follow. But you should carefully follow the guru on the path shown by him, lest you shall remain behind all alone, with the guru having walked on. Take care not to leave his feet, because death shall try to change your life in order to deviate you from the right path. And this death can appear as an enemy in any form, as your parents, your brother, your relations, or your friends. They shall say to you, "What are you doing? Where are you going? Which path are you trying to follow? You should earn money, do some business, you should get married, you should have children. Otherwise, who shall cremate your body and offer oblations to your soul after your death?" Let me ask you, who cremated the body of Surdas after his death? Who offered oblations to the soul of Kabir after he had left his worldly form? Who offered fire to the funeral pyre of Vasishtha when he died? Vishwamitra's body was not cremated by his sons, but by his disciples, who are the living images of the totality he had achieved in his life. And the person who achieves this totality attains the goal of human life. Such a person does not worry about anything, and even death cannot harm him, because he then becomes invincible and attains great spiritual heights. Such moments of achieving totality shall also present themselves in your life. But at that moment, your enemies too shall be standing before you in the form of your wife, your husband, your parents, your social obligations, and your financial problems. These opponents shall surely block your way. You shall be all alone, and surrounding you on all sides will be hundreds of foes. But remember that a person who is courageous, manly, capable and strong puts forward each step with firmness, and he never stops, come what may. Because supporting him is a conscience, a thought and the firm hand of his Guru. Indeed, unique is the moment when one acquires the support of a Guru and moves on this new path of sadhana. This path of sadhana is the way to a new dawn, a new divine enlightenment. The person holding whose hand one can move on determinedly on this path is not an ordinary human being. In fact, he represents a process of rising human life to great spiritual heights. He represents the path to totality. He has been called the Purnamada, Guru, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva by the Shastras, and more than anything, he represents the real truth. The Shastras have never expounded the worship of Brahma or Vishnu or Rudra, or for that matter any other god. They have only emphasized on the worship of the Guru. And when the great sages have emphasized only on the worship of the Guru, there must be some deep significance behind this. These sages were great scholars and possessed much more knowledge than we do today. Hence, they knew that no god can instill totality into the life of a human being. Without totality, life is meaningless, and only a Guru can help one achieve this state. This is why I say to you that the moment you meet a Guru, only one thought should be on your mind, and that is to give everything and devote yourself in his feet. You should hold on to his feet and should become one with his body and soul. Just as fragrance disperses and becomes one with the air, you have to fuse your soul with that of the Guru, and if you are able to do so, you shall surely attain the goal of life by progressing on the path which leads to totality. This path leads to a destination where there is eternal joy. Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim. That state is of a peaceful samadhi. It is a state of totality, and reaching it, you can then guide millions of other humans onto this path. Then you can give them the right thought process and can leave behind a rich legacy of spiritual enlightenment for the future generations. This is what we call as completeness in life. This is why I am cautioning you not to miss this chance. Missing this one moment means death. If you don't avail the moment, the perpetual cycle of time shall obliterate all traces of your existence from this earth. I say this because in this moment lies the key to completeness in life. Because in this golden moment, you shall get linked with a Guru who can raise your life to high spiritual planes. This one moment is truly amazing in itself. A complete transformation of your life takes place, and there occurs an explosion of joy and divine conscience in your body and soul. Then you attain a joy which your forefathers could never experience in their lives. Without such an explosion, such joy, such totality cannot be attained. True joy is in being in the feet of a Guru as a disciple. True joy is like the peace experienced on sitting under the cool shade of a tree. Such peace, such bliss, such joy can be experienced by only a few. Rather, only a disciple can achieve this state. This is why the best achievement of life is in being a disciple, and one becomes a disciple when one's conscience gets awakened, when one obtains a guru and realizes his true form. You too can obtain a guru. Such a moment can, in fact, come any time and at any age in your life. But when such a moment does come, new life begins for you and you are in a way reborn. The Shastras say, Janmanam Jayate Shudra, that is, every person is a Shudra by birth. A Shudra cannot distinguish between good deeds and sins or between sanctity and profanity. But when his body and soul are consecrated and sanctified through Diksha, a new life begins for him. When you sit with a Guru and he places his hand on your head and accepts you as his disciple, then your life becomes meaningful. Thus, there are two lives. The first life before Diksha leads only to death, while the new life after Diksha leads to immortality. The aim of the first life is to satisfy one's material passions, while that of the second life is to attain totality. The first life is based on lies, deceit, lust and sins, while the second is based on joy and totality, which even great yogis and ascetics keep striving hard to achieve. May you realize such a moment in your life. May you succeed in awakening your conscience. And this is possible only through the unification of a guru and a disciple. When the guru fuses the soul of the disciple with his own, then that moment is of divine bliss. May you reach such a stage in your life and may this thought process become clear to you. But when shall such a moment come in your life? Only when you forget your parents, brothers, sisters, sons, friends, your problems and your passions, and think for just one moment which path you should follow. This thought process shall encourage you onto the right path which leads to totality. The process of walking on this path is similar to that of a river flowing and merging into the ocean. When the river originates from its source, it has only one thought, one aim, one goal, and that is to flow as fast as it can and merge into the ocean. And only when it merges with the ocean does it attain peace. A similar bliss is experienced by a disciple on meeting a guru. You are like a river and I am an ocean. I am your guru and I accept that you are my disciple. This is why I say to you, come, I am standing here with open arms. An ocean with its expanse remains ready to welcome the river. The river originates in the mountains, flows over rocks, through valleys, over the plains, and with a great speed reaches the ocean and merges into it. It ends its journey at the same place where it had started from. When the bright hot rays of the sun fall on the shimmering surface of the ocean, the water evaporates, rises up and forms clouds. The vaporized drop of water in the cloud knows that it is a part of the huge ocean and has to merge into it one day. It yearns to return to the ocean, but the wind blows it away. The cloud carrying the drop wanders here and there in the sky at the mercy of the harsh winds. The drop keeps pining to reach the ocean but does not know how to. And then the cloud strikes a mountain, a guru, a loud thunder reverberates through the skies, and the drop condenses back into water, the same form in which it had been a part of the ocean. On realizing its true form, the drop again remembers from where it had originated. It falls down as a raindrop and with other such drops forms rivers which flow towards the ocean. But the journey is very tedious. On the way are hundreds of obstacles and problems, hundreds of rocks and falls. But the drop does not stop because it knows what its goal is. And thus, with a zeal and enthusiasm, it keeps moving forward along with other drops. Such is then its speed, such is then its force, that it washes away everything which comes in its way. Humans, animals, trees, and even entire villages. And the moment it merges with the ocean, It attains a unique peace, a soothing bliss, a great joy. For at that moment it knows that it has reached the place it had started from. It knows that it has achieved the desired totality. Similar is the relation between a disciple and a guru. I am a guru and you are a part of my soul. This is not your first birth. Even in your previous life, you are my disciple. I know you very well. You may not know me, you may not recognize me, but it is very much true that I am a witness to your previous 25 lives. I know you for the past 2500 years after the Buddha era. During these 2500 years, you came to me 25 times. Each time I called out to you and instilled enlightenment into you. Each time I stopped you from moving on the path of death. You are wandering about like a directionless cloud. My aim was to give direction to your life. You have to collide with the Himalayas. I am here standing before you like a mountain, and when you collide with me, you shall become a drop. Then you shall realize your true form. But in your way too, there are hundreds of obstacles. Your parents, brothers, sisters, wife, sons stop you from reaching the cool valleys of the Himalayas. They change the course of your path and force you to move towards a blazing desert. And when a drop falls on the desert sand, it gets lost in the sand forever. And I am cautioning you that this is not the path which you have to follow. You have to reach me, collide with me, for then only shall I be able to give you the form of a drop. I am a witness to your previous 25 lives. Each time I called out to you, made you my disciple and instilled into you knowledge and divine conscience. Each time I explained to you that you have to move on the path which leads to the heights of the Himalayas. But each time you ended up in a desert. You remained infatuated by your wife, your son and your wealth. I tried to raise your life to higher planes, but you kept falling back lower and lower. And falling means embracing death. You never attained totality of life because it can be attained only by colliding with the Himalayas. I know which path is right for you, hence I am encouraging you onto it. This is why I am saying you do not have to stop in your life, nor do you have to think deeply. One does not know how much life is left and the journey is very long. The journey from the Himalayas, the Gangotri, to the ocean is thousands of miles long. If you are slow or indecisive, you cannot reach your destination. If the river flows very slowly, it shall dry up on its way itself. And if you stop dead like a dried up river, then there shall be no significance of your life. A river attains totality only by blending into the sea. You too have to move fast and you have to keep progressing, overcoming all obstacles which may be present on this path. And the moment you fuse your soul into mine, the moment you realize your true self by coming closer to me, you shall achieve eternal joy and divine conscience in life. I am not a guru who just preaches or wears saffron robes.